cannot deny you gratitude for your continued support and your efforts towards the discharge of our mandate. We are thankful to you for responding to our invitation even at a short notice. Over the past week, we have been inundated with calls and messages to act on a very grievous issue that border on our safety and well-being as journalists. We have received videos and comments that urged the GJA to act. So, colleagues, after investigations and consultations, your National Executive of the Ghana Journalists Association has noted with grave concern the reckless and dangerous comment made by the General Secretary of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, in short, GRNMA, Dr. David Tenkra-Chu, against journalists in Ghana. GJA is outraged by the treacherous and completely unacceptable comments made by Dr. Tenkra-Chu, in which he boldly declared that journalists have been marked and will be shown whenever they visit public hospitals. As if he owns the hospitals. Colleagues, as you may be aware, in June this year, during a studio interview on Meet FM, a station belonging to the Despite Group Media or Despite Media Group, which was video recorded or which was live transmitted via their social media portals, Dr. Tenkra-Chu, in reacting to the nurses' strike and what he described as unprofessional media reportage, issued a veiled threat against journalists. He stated, and I quote him, "Those journalists we have marked them. Those journalists, we have marked them. They will come and meet us in the hospital. I am serious about this. I said they will come and meet us in the hospital and we will show them that we are professionals. We will show them professionalism." Colleague, the first comment he made was, "Those journalists, we have marked them. They will come and meet us in the hospital." Before the host of the show intervened and told him that you can't talk like that, you can't speak in this manner, then he quickly came in to polish what he said. This is not a mere slip of tongue. It is a blatant threat of violence against journalists in Ghana. The GJA finds these remarks utterly irresponsible, deeply disturbing, and unbefitting of a leader of a professional health association. To publicly declare in an antagonistic tone that journalists has been marked and will be shown in hospitals is nothing short of intimidation and an attempt to instill fear among media practitioners. Such rhetoric, whether disguised as professionalism or not, creates fertile grounds for hostility and endangers the safety of journalists across the country. The GJA will not sit idle while the safety and lives of journalists are put on the line. The GJA will not be cowed, neither will the media fraternity allow itself to be intimidated by reckless threats, regardless of who makes them. Our demands and next steps. hold him fully responsible in law and in public accountability for the consequences of his reckless statement. And we will not only take civil actions, we may also resort to criminal actions, because these are words of threat. Our petition is already in motion to the Inspector General of Police on this reckless statement for the police to probe and to ensure that when journalists, anything happens to journalists in our public hospitals, this man will be held accountable.
Yeah.
Thank you. Colleagues, Aketia by election, the GJA serves notice as follows. 1. Dr. Tinkrachu must, within 5 days, retract his reckless comments, issue an unqualified public apology to all journalists in Ghana, and give a clear undertaking that he will never again champion or encourage actions that threaten the safety of journalists in this country. 2. Should he fail to comply, the GJA will not hesitate to petition all appropriate bodies, including but not limited to the National Media Commission, the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ, International Press Freedom Watchdogs, including the Committee to Protect Journalists, CPJ, the Federation of African Journalists, FAJ, and the International Federation of Journalists. We will hold him personally accountable for any harm that befalls journalists in public hospitals or elsewhere as a result of his utterances. So what it means is that if a journalist visits any hospital, public hospital, and anything happens to him or her, whether due to the negligence of nurses or not, we are going to hold Dr. Tinkra responsible if he fails to do the needful within 5 days. We also call on the leadership of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association to publicly dissociate itself from this comment. Silence on their part will be interpreted as endorsement and complicity. 5. Finally, we urge the government of Ghana, the Ministry of Health, and the security agencies to take immediate steps to assure journalists of their safety in hospitals and other public spaces. We wish to remind Dr. Tinkrachu, wherever he is, and if he's listening and watching me, that Article 162, Clause 1 of the 1992 Constitution guarantees the freedom and independence of the media, while Article 21, Clause 1A guarantees every Ghanaian's right to freedom of speech and expression, including that of the media. His statement amounts to an affront to Ghana's constitutional democracy. The leadership of the Ghana Police Service will bear full responsibility, and the association will not hesitate to demand accountability both at home and abroad. Reminder to the government and the Ghana Armed Forces. Reminder to the government and the Ghana Armed Forces. The National Executive of the GJA would like to remind the Chief of Defense Staff, the Chief of the Defense Staff of the Ghana Armed Forces, of his public promise to release the preliminary findings into the attack on Joint News reporter Carlos Kaloni and his cameraman by a soldier along the Spintex route. This report is long overdue, and its release is necessary to restore public confidence that the military does not condone attacks on journalists. And I take it once again. This report is long overdue, and its release is necessary to restore public confidence that the military does not condone attacks on journalists. The GJA insists that this promise must be handled without further delay. For failure to do so will cast doubt on the military's commitment to transparency and accountability in matters of press freedom. We are yet to hear from government after the President, through the Minister of State in charge of government communication, directed the Minister for Defense and National Security Coordinator to investigate the incident involving the attack and arrest of Carlos and his cameraman and ensure the appropriate punishment is imposed. The delay comes to confirm our earlier fear and position that the President's directive was not enough, even though we commended the President for his swift response to the incident. We were thinking timeline should have been given, but that was not done. And here we find ourselves. It confirms our fears and our earlier position. Finally, back to Akwetia, Dr. Tinkra Chum's reckless utterances. We must also point out with equal fairness that sections of the media acted unethically in their reportage relating to this matter. Context distortion. After an incident at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, Ridge Hospital, that's into bracket, Ridge Hospital, where some individuals attacked nurses and staff, some bloggers, social media influencers, online portals, and even segments of the traditional media irresponsibly circulated an old video of Dr. Tinkra Chum, recorded in June 2025, falsely linking it to the Ridge Hospital incident, as if Dr. Tinkra Chum was speaking in response to the case at the Ridge Hospital. This is grossly misleading and unethical. Violation of Article 23 of the GJA Code of Ethics. Article 23 states that, and I quote, a journalist ensures that photographs and multimedia content adequately reflect an event and do not highlight an incident out of context. By editing and repurposing an old video to fix a current story, those journalists and bloggers clearly violated this provision. Another violation of Article 4 of the GJA Code of Ethics. Article 4 requires, and I quote, a journalist makes adequate inquiries and cross-checks is or a fact. The key question here is the journalist and online platforms who circulated the June 2025 video as if it were current obey this ethical obligation? The answer is a resounding no. The answer is a resounding no. Disinformation and credibility. Such conduct amounts to disinformation. It undermines public trust in journalism and damages the credibility of the profession we are sworn to uphold. It must be stated categorically that June 2025 video of Dr. Tinkra Chum has no link to the recent Ridge Hospital incident. The GJA therefore entreats hosts of radio and television programs, as well as editors and producers of online and traditional media outlets, to exercise greater circumspection in the discharge of their duties. Indicate that there are heavy presence of the military in Akwetia, particularly Wenchi and other areas, causing fear and panic among the people. Inasmuch as we want to support the security services to discharge their duties, the ally governing the conduct of elections in the country clearly mandates the Ghana Police Service to be the lead security in charge to ensure a secure, orderly, and peaceful environment for the electoral process. The same airline mandates the Inspector General of Police to chair election security task force in this country, and not the military. And it is only in some instances that the military will serve as a backup to the police to beef up the security when the need be or arises. The GJA is monitoring and observing the election process, and we believe strongly that there is no need for any masked, and the word is masked, any masked security personnel in the constituency. Don't expect security personnel to be seen wearing face mask, causing mayhem, intimidating electorate. We are there to expose the ills and wrongs of the society. We are there to shed light on darkness, and nothing will prevent us from discharging that constitutional duty, regardless. We will expose the ills when we make such observations. We must avoid the use of military to intimidate the electorate. We encourage the police to ensure that no hooligans and thugs are allowed to foment trouble in the constituency or in the area. Professionalism and ethical conduct. The Ghana Journalists Association would like to take this opportunity to urge all journalists or media practitioners assigned to cover the Akwetia parliamentary by-election come Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025, to demonstrate the highest level of professionalism before, during, and after the polls. Journalists must remain guided by the GJA Code of Ethics, ensuring accuracy, fairness, and balance in their reportage. We entreat practitioners to avoid conduct, language, or practices that could expose them to hostility or provoke attacks. Ethical and responsible coverage is not only in the interest of you, the journalist, yourselves, but also in the interest of safeguarding Ghana's democratic process.